It probably happen sooner than later. You never know what God got planned, you know?
It sounded like he wants to somehow work things out. Are you open to working things out with him?
He got the fans, like, you know what I'm saying? He got it. He went up, so now he got what he wanted. So now it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, like I say, bro, I don't know him.
A birthday celebration that took a turn for the worst. Now cars filled with bullet holes. Why famous rapper Julio Foolio, who just turned 26, was shot dead early this morning.
At just 26 years old, Jacksonville rapper Julio Foolio met a sad end when he was shot and killed at a hotel in Tampa, Florida. But what's really strange about this is that Foolio might have predicted his own death, and now people are quick to point fingers at young Ace as the likely suspect given the intense and well-known beef between the two, with both sides suffering losses and even making diss tracks about it. But what really scared fans was what Foolio said before he died in a Vlad TV interview. When asked if there was any way to settle the feud with Yunin, Foolio ominously remarked that the beef would end sooner than later and that no one could predict God's plans. Some fans thought he was hinting at making peace, but others believed he meant that either he or Yin would have to die for the feud to truly end.
Could there be anything that could be done with, let's just say, you and Young and Ace sitting down together and saying, look, a lot of happened on both ends?
It probably happen sooner than later. You never know what God got planned, you know?
Sadly, it seems the latter view was right. Foolio's death was followed by online trolling, and Youngin posted a diss track just hours after the news broke. And despite the sad loss and the online chaos, the cops haven't made any arrests yet. So how did this all unfold? Let's dig deeper. Julio Foolio, whose real name was Charles Jones, was born on June 21st and had just celebrated his 26th birthday. He grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, in a rough neighborhood known as Hilltop Village. Or the sixth Foolio made a name for himself with some pretty controversial tracks that gained significant attention a couple of years ago. One of his most infamous songs, When I See You, has over 45 million views on YouTube. The video was shot at a grave site and mocked three men close to Yunjin. Another track list of Dead Ops also stirred up a lot of controversies and has nearly 20 million views in it. He listed over 50 names, which might have been an exaggeration, but still it's mind-boggling to think about having that many enemies while trying to maintain a public presence throughout his career. Foolio faced multiple attempts on his life. Back in October 2023, he was shot in the foot in Jacksonville. This happened in a residential neighborhood less than a mile from a school. The black Dodge Challenger he was driving got riddled with bullets. His mom took to Instagram pleading for prayers and posting, "Keep Foolio, my son, in y'all prayers." He was shot.
West 16th Street, about a person shot. An adult male in his mid-20s transported himself to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The victim sustained a single gunshot wound to the foot.
Now, breaking news, surveillance footage has been released from that claimed the life of Jacksonville rapper Julio Foolio, and it appears that he was hit, y'all, with a chopper.
And then you see, his lifeless body being taken away into an ambulance. And as that's happening, Young and Ace releases a diss track. Did you hear what he just said? He said, "Fellas got the low, I told them to do it." Now, if they can link Young and Ace to any kind of case related to this is coming into evidence. They're each other. They're each other. It just has to stop.
So I can tell you that I made several phone calls and discussions with the undersheriff and staff members about paying very close attention to certain groups that I know are clashing with one another. They know who they are. And we are going to pay very close attention to make sure that, we're not going to allow you to just arbitrarily run around and spray bullets into people's houses and cars.
Before that, in November 2021, he was attacked again on the 2000 block of Ernest Street in Riverside. This time, Foolio made news for shooting back in self-defense and managing to escape soon after he went live on Instagram, saying, "I shot back in self-defense. My gun is ready to be registered, and if I did something illegal, the police would have put me in jail. I did miss 100 shots, though they must have thought I was missing." For sure, fans were used to Foolio going live after these events in July 2020. After getting shot in Houston, he reportedly got hit in the knee and still went live on Instagram to update his.
I'm mad I ain't dead, ain't it? You was mad I ain't dead, okay? We can talk about, yeah.
26-year-old Charles Jones was also known as Julio Foolio, was reportedly there to celebrate his birthday. I think he was turning, 26 or 27. Police are still trying to figure out a motive for the shooting, but in some of his songs, he made jokes about the murders of people in other groups as well as rappers.
I heard probably 2 series of shots, maybe like 5 shots each. And then probably like 5 minutes later, just heard some voices.
At that hotel, because according to social media posts, his pool party at an Airbnb was shut down by police. He alerted people, listen, I'm moving my party to this other hotel, so people knew where he was going. And the people who ambushed him allegedly came there to do that. 3 other victims are being treated at a hospital.
By 2023, Foolio had already escaped 3 public attempts on his life, with 2 of them leaving him injured. Fast forward to 2024, and Foolio had just turned 26 in June and chose to celebrate by throwing a pool party. Naturally, he went on Instagram to share the location, letting his fans know where the party was, but as the day went on, things took a turn. According to his Instagram posts, it seems he had to switch locations to a Holiday Inn because, as one of his posts stated, the cops had kicked him out of the original spot. Just hours after that update, Foolio's girlfriend went on X, formerly Twitter, with a heartbreaking note. "Y'all took my boyfriend for me. I hate y'all, and I won't be the only one crying." Shortly after her post, a video clip from the Holiday in the parking lot emerged on social media. It was reported that around 4:30 in the morning in Tampa Bay, Florida, Foolio was found shot along with 3 other people. Tragically, the 26-year-old rapper celebrating his birthday didn't live.
Yes, so at this point, 3 people are in the hospital. We're working to get the best update on their condition. 1 person was pronounced deceased.
Good morning to you. And there is concern that this could lead to even more violence, more shootings in Jacksonville. That's because that is where this rapper was from, and he did have a long-standing history of posting provocative videos and songs, creating songs where it glorified not only violence, but specifically violence against fellow rappers and other groups in Jacksonville. Jones, known for making diss tracks and music videos joking about the murders of rivals, and even shooting one music video in a graveyard and mocking another rapper who was shot and killed on his birthday. Now, several local stations in Jacksonville are reporting that Jones was shot twice in the last 3 years. He survived those, and now his murder could fuel even more violence.
This is the downside of that kind of nature that goes around, that gets associated with the music industry and the rappers that do this kind of thing. It's not jokes. This is not, in so many cases, just for video show. This is fiction becoming fact-based in real life.
Now, Jones has made several posts over the last week about celebrating his birthday here in Tampa. On his Instagram page, he offered to send the location of a pool party to his followers. According to his posts on Saturday, that party later shut down by police, but he'd also posted plans about another party happening at an adult entertainment club that night, not far from the hotel, where he was later found shot and killed during what his attorney has called an
To really get a grasp on how this sad moment came to be, we need to rewind the clock a bit. Back in 2021, there was a song that everyone on social media couldn't stop talking about by Yunin. Ace, this track didn't just make waves, it shed light on one of the deadliest rap feuds brewing for years in Jacksonville, Florida. These Jacksonville rappers had this unique style of dropping hints about revenge in their music videos, often using beats from classic pop songs and layering them with some of the most sinister lyrics. Yunin Ace and his crew took Vanessa Carlton's 1,000 Miles, flipped it completely, and filmed the video on a posh golf course smoking and dancing while the lyrics celebrated the deaths of Foolio's crew from North Jacksonville. Who I Smoke went viral almost instantly, racking up 16 million views in just a month and getting reactions from all the big influencers online.
Who I Smoke. Say it. No! Hey, Julio, come get...
With such a bold move from young Ace, Foolio felt the need to hit back even harder. He took a famous Fantasia song and remixed it, and for the music video, he printed out a massive post of 2 of Ace's friends and his blood brother, who had died beside Ace in a drive-by shooting outside a Japanese steakhouse. Ace was the only survivor in that car attack.
Who I Smoke came out of nowhere, went crazy, kind of made it more mainstream to where people who don't even know y'all, they were tapped into it.
How I took it too far when they made a song first. Speaking of, once the dead get involved, it's already too far.
He might be. Corbin Ass was lost until they found him in that bag.
Corbin Johnson was last seen alive in July of last year. Then last Friday, a man discovered the victim's skeletal.
From that point on, Foolio's crew and Youngin Ace crew began a back and forth of tracks aimed directly at each other, each song embedded with hidden messages and taunts. Now, let's set the scene in Jacksonville. Florida is the biggest city in the continental U.S. by land size. Florida's always been a big player in the rap scene, but Jacksonville didn't really make it to the mainstream until these viral diss tracks between two rival crews put it on the map. On one side, you've got Young Ace leading the ATK gang, which basically runs the west side of Jacksonville. On the other side, there's Foolio, the head of KTA, also known as Kill Them All. KTA is a partnership between Foolio's gang from the north side and another crew called Young and Reckless from the south side. Boy Ace, whose real name is Kay Bullard, was actually born in Chicago and is one of 12 brothers who grew up without a father figure since his dad was in jail. Ace moved around a lot with his single mom before they finally settled in Jacksonville. Ace looked up to his uncle, but when his uncle passed away when Ace was just 14, he turned to the streets to cope with his pain and anger. This is where he found his love for music and formed his crew. ATK started releasing music in 2014, but it wasn't until 2018 that he really began to gain ground with songs like No Witness, All In, and Find Myself. His raw and real lyrics quickly won him a strong online following. Foolio, on the other hand, always had a knack for rapping but didn't take it seriously until he dropped out of school in the 9th grade without money for studio time. He hustled hard to make things happen in 2015. He started getting attention with songs like Coming Up, which helped him start booking shows and earning money from his music. He branded himself with his crew Ta, and over the next few years, his popularity in Florida's music scene skyrocketed. The fight between Young Ace and Foolio kicked off around 2017 over what both sides say was a misunderstanding. It's a bit murky on what exactly happened, but it quickly escalated from a simple disagreement to a full-blown war. What makes this feud even more tragic is the number of common friends both sides had. While Ace and Foolio were never exactly tight, they shared friends like Quiso, who is currently locked up with his father on charges for 2, including Foolio's blood brother. BBBY played a major role in the beef after BBB's Quiso infamously wore BB jerseys and took photos like trophies. He even released an album in 2019 with images of his dead foes on the cover, like a twisted Mount Rushmore of fallen enemies. Jacksonville Police, or JSO, are renowned for not solving cases. In fact, 70% of cases in the city go unsolved. This led to the online catchphrase "Jew loves Quiso" because Queso blatantly broadcasts his behaviors on social media. Despite this, all of Quiso's songs have millions of views on YouTube, and he was even close with King Va. Quiso even appeared in that famous movie where Rondo and King Va were joking around before their tragic fallout. Interview 8. But back in Jacksonville, Quiso had built quite a reputation for his cutthroat behavior. One of his most infamous stunts was trying to plan a real-life teen deathmatch with his own cousins who were part of the rival gang KTA.
Dirty ass!
One of these cousins was Lil. Just a month after their heated online argument, Lil N was ambushed while leaving a gas stop. He was shot 12 times by a gun from another car, causing his vehicle to crash into a nearby tire shop. Tragically, Lil 9 was pronounced dead at the scene while people at the tire shop were frantically trying to revive him. Lil 9's friend, who had been with him during the attack, was furiously walking around the store, filming the aftermath.
What's up? Where you at?
Come on, I do a team deathmatch.
Right now?
Y'all 2 versus us 2.
Look at my cousins. We looking like. My cousins don't want to talk.
Quiso wasted no time reacting with a video laughing at the situation to make things even worse. Twisted Quiso's blood brother, who was also Lil N's cousin, recreated the gruesome scene from the tire shop in a video.
We fought, play.
60 days later, Quo dropped a music video where he put a picture of his own deceased cousin, Lil N, in a microwave.
Get out! Get out! Y'all play. Y'all play. Y'all play.
Buck was more than just a fellow rapper to Foolio. He was a close friend, and his death was a devastating blow. TK supposedly got the drop on Buck rolling up on him at 11 o'clock in the morning while he was applying for a job. It was a planned assassination. Afterward, Queso shared on his Instagram story bragging, "I could do then get my toes done."
Receiving a pedicure with the caption, "N-word, then go get my toes done."
This wasn't the first hit to happen at a job site. Another rapper jumped out who had beef with Ace, and ATK was quid while waiting in line to apply for a job at an Amazon factory. This event inspired the infamous line in Who I Smoke, where they found out where he was working and clocked him out. Crews had increased to a point where no one was safe, no matter if they were shooting. It could happen anytime, anywhere. Foolio had lost a dozen friends to AF or jail. Mookie and Slug were behind bars, and even Foolio's girlfriend had been shot in the head.
I thought I was dead. Y'all ain't underscored this yet, boy.
Ninja Ace is still holding a bullet casing from that quadruple shooting outside the Wasab Steakhouse. The hip-hop community was rocked by the sad news of Foolio's death. It was a harsh wake-up call about the risks of gang violence. Foolio had survived 4 attempts on his life in the past 4 years, but the 4th one sadly ended his life. He was enjoying his birthday, a stark reminder of the relentless cycle of violence. People often say that when you put gas on fire, it just makes things worse. This situation was a great example of that. It showed that escalating violence only leads to more death and sorrow.